Good evening, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 14th of October, 2014. A look at what's going on with Hurricane Gonzalo and then Tropical Storm Ana in the Central Pacific. First of all, Gonzalo winds now at 100 knots, 115 miles per hour, 970 millibars pressure, moving northwest at about 13 miles per hour. The next several days shows the hurricane moving through the southwest Atlantic here on a path that brings it very, very close to Bermuda right here sometime perhaps Friday afternoon. And then after that time, it looks like parts of southeast Newfoundland could be under the gun for possible hurricane conditions as this transitions from a warm core, more tightly clustered, focused storm into one that's more spread out with its energy over a larger area and becoming what we call post-tropical in nature as it moves over the cooler waters of the North Atlantic. The model spread, as you can see here, not too much of a divergent pattern. Even way out here at 5 days, you don't see some of them peeling off over here and then some of them up this way, where there's a tremendous amount of difference between the two outliers, if you will. This is fairly tightly clustered modeling here, especially for the first several days, and it does bring the hurricane pretty close to Bermuda right in here, and they're going to be under a hurricane watch probably tonight or tomorrow, I would imagine, for the possibility of a very, very strong hurricane passing over or very close to that area sometime on Friday. Looking at the satellite loop of the Atlantic Basin here, you can pick out Gonzalo pretty easily. Well-defined eye here, right there, that little dark spot right there in the middle of this central dense overcast, this almost circular area of convection. A well-oiled machine, if you will, but unfortunately for Bermuda, which is right here, this could be a big problem as this turns up and then eventually goes past, possibly right over the top of Bermuda. For interest in the Bahamas and then even still down here in the Caribbean islands, and then eventually up here along the east coast, parts of the east coast anyway, swells that will be generated from Gonzalo will radiate outward and bring dangerous rip current conditions. So be sure to monitor your local National Weather Service products along the beachfront areas for that. In the eastern Pacific, actually in the central Pacific, out of the East Pacific area of responsibility and into the central Pacific area, this is Hawaii. There's the big island right there, and this is Tropical Storm Ana, forecast to kind of meander over. A little bit more divergence in the models here, but it is forecast to at least approach Hawaii as a hurricane in the coming days. So it's pretty kind of weird, unusual here that we have two hurricanes threatening two sets of islands, Ana becoming a hurricane eventually, threatening the Hawaiian Islands, and of course Gonzalo headed perhaps towards Bermuda. So a lot to keep up with. I will be heading to Bermuda myself tomorrow to provide coverage of Gonzalo there, and I hopefully will on occasion be able to post a video for Hurricane Pro and Hurricane HD users to see what's going on. We'll just have to see what the infrastructure is like out there. I'm taking with me a weather station, one of our state-of-the-art weather stations that sends data back to the app that we developed at HurricaneTrack.com called Hurricane Impact, more of an impact-based app, so when you have something threatening landfall, it becomes very useful, more than a tracking tool. It's just hard to get any better than Hurricane Pro and HD for tracking, but once they're making landfall, you have Hurricane Impact, our app, to show what's really happening when it hits. So if you don't have our app, check it out. It's Hurricane Impact, 2 words, and we will hopefully be able to pump live weather data coming from our equipment into the app with wind, pressure, and a live image from where we set it up. So we'll see. Got some technical things we have to overcome. I say we, it's me, but I got a lot of people on the outside helping me, even though I'm going solo. So anyway, I'll do the best I can to provide what coverage I can from Bermuda, and hopefully some of it will end up on the Weather Channel. So tune in there, and if you hear anything from good old Mark Sudduth, that's me. And we'll see what I can do out there. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com, my website, and for Hurricane Pro and HD. I'll have more for you from Bermuda as conditions allow.